Hi everyone, it's Kim again. It's 7:30 and I'm on my page. So great to have you with me, whether you're watching live or on the replay. Just sort of like say hi or drop me a comment or something like that, just so I know who's watching. Be great. So tonight, this is my recovery tip number 3, and this is probably the one that I most recommend. It's the thing that really helped me it changed my life. You know, it turned my world upside down and really helped me transform everything. I've been putting out, I do, as you've probably seen on this page, 7:30 every evening. I put out like little inspirational quotes and, things like that. Some of them are kind of like trying to get you to think in a certain way about, because it can be hard to sort of break free of an eating disorder, and sometimes our mind isn't quite thinking straight. So there's some kind of like posts that, get you to think in a certain way and realising the damage that it's causing and what's going on. But there's some sort of like inspirational ones that kind of help motivate you in order to sort of like keep striving on in order to kind of like to recover, to feel better. And there's some sort of like, also there's like some advisory ones, techniques to try and things to look at it and things like that. So I tend to sort of like do these, and they come out about this time every evening. And one that I've kind of put quite recently is one that goes somewhere along the lines of anorexia is not about the food itself. It's about the huge helping of fear and guilt that is served alongside that. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's not about the food itself. It's not the food that is the problem. It's the way that we think about the food. It's the way the food makes us feel. It is the fear and it is the guilt that's actually, the issue. Because, there must have been a time in your life, and it might seem so far back now that you can't hardly remember, but there was probably a time in your life, even if you were really young, that, you could eat. And, you may be sort of like a bit fussy or something like that. But that it didn't you didn't have the same struggle in the same way that you may have now. So it is around that fear, it is around that guilt, and that is the issue that we have. So I just wanted to kind of like say about the recovery tip number 3, and that is to learn EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques, or tapping as it's also called. And like I said, it really helped turn my life around, really helped transform my life. It's something that I learned, and it was the best thing that helped me in my recovery. It really, really did. And the way that it works, the way that I work with it, is that I look, and I know sometimes some of you've heard this before, but I look to address, it's not the food, it's not the weight, because those aren't the issues. Although your focus is very much on food and weight and eating and stuff, and that's what you're sort of thinking about a lot, those aren't actually the real issues, the real underlying issues. And it's those underlying issues that I look to get to, with my clients. I look to get to the events that have happened in your life that still bother you, that still bring you down, that still make you feel angry, still make you feel ashamed, still make you feel fearful, still make you feel guilty, still hurt you. All of those, those events. We look at the key ones, and we look to get rid of your emotions around those events. And that is what really sets you free. Because they're not weighing you down anymore. They're not defining your life. They are not creating this huge negativity within you. You just become free, and you just automatically feel more positive. Because they do these events, they affect you really negatively, and and that affects everything else going forward. So, and it's about these events are the things that we feel that we can't cope with, or we can't deal with. And so, I had anorexia, you might have an eating disorder. Other people use different things, and it's not a subconscious choice. It's not like you wake up one morning and you go, oh, I'm going to try anorexia today, or I'm going to try bulimia today, or anything like that, but it's subconscious, it's like, I can't deal with this, so this is going to happen. And some people, it's about, drinking alcohol. Some people it's about taking drugs. Some people it's about gambling. Some people have kind of all sorts of anxiety. There's lots and lots of different things that happen in our life as a result of this negative stuff that we've got going on. All the negative stuff from the past. It creates and it manifests into either eating disorders, addictions, or anxiety, or bipolar, or all these different kind of like mental health issues, and even like physical issues. It can come out in that as well. But anyway, this is what I look to help with, because if we deal with the root cause, if we deal with the events that have happened that are dragging you down, making you feel crap, that are really affecting you, once we get rid of those, and it's about, like I said, it's not about changing the events, or because we can't sort of go back in a time machine and make stop these things from happening. But we can change how we feel about them. That's perfectly possible. And because I've seen it so many times with myself, with my clients, I see it all the time. So it is achievable, and if we deal with those events, the negative events in your life, the ones that you still that are bothering you and affecting you, then you naturally start to feel better. You naturally start to feel more positive. And then it becomes a case of, well, okay, I don't need to use those same behaviours that I did. I don't need to kind of like have this anxiety. I don't need to kind of like carry this fear around with me. I don't need to carry this anger around with me. I don't need to carry this shame around with me, this guilt, this sadness, this hurt. All of these emotions that you're carrying around is affecting you now. It's kind of created the present day you. And until you deal with, it's not about getting you to eat, it's not about kind of relearning you to eat. That's not what it's about. It's not about getting you to a certain weight, because that's not what it's about. Because what happens is that, you can kind of like relearn to eat. You can kind of, sort of like restore more weight, but you still have that desperate urge to go back to old behaviours. But like I said, if we can deal with the events, the negative events that have happened, all the crap that you're still holding on to, and all the emotions that are tied in with that's dragging you down, weighing you down, consuming you. And see how I talk in the language that I speak, because yes, I'm, had an eating disorder, so I use words like weighing you down and consuming you. This is just typical, of me, because that's what I know, that's the language that I use. So it is about getting rid of your emotions around those events that have happened to you in order to truly feel better. Because once that happens, you'll feel more confident, you will feel more positive, you will feel better about yourself, and then you don't need these behaviours. You know, you truly don't need them. And then it doesn't become about, you know, the focus on your food and your weight and things like that. That just naturally sort of like subsides anyway. You know, it's not about your whole focus. So to me, real recovery is around changing your mindset, you know? And so when I talk about recovery, I'm not on about like eating sort of like, you know, sort of like how many meals a day and following a meal plan and all that sort of stuff, or kind of restoring to a certain weight. Because to me, if you are truly recovered and your mindset is healthy, then you will automatically kind of eat what you need to, and you will kind of get to a certain weight that is right for you, and you will be okay in doing that, because there will be no fear and there will be no guilt. And that to me is what real recovery is about. That's it, you know? It's just the same as, you know, if I was to help somebody with anxiety, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, because I would deal with these root issues with them too, you know? So, and I know that sometimes we have stuff going on in the past that's really hard, you know, kind of like, obviously I've said, you know, you don't want to kind of deal with and things like that. But, you know, I can use really, really gentle techniques on this. I've had, you know, I've said before, I've worked with clients who've been sexually abused, and, you know, we don't have to delve right into these memories. We don't kind of talk it to death. We don't kind of like relive it. We don't, you know, kind of go through it all and dredge it all up again and relive that pain and all that trauma. It's not what we do. And as well is that, you know, if there's something that's happened that you don't want to share with EFT, that's okay. You know, you don't have to share that, because you know what's going on for you. So you don't need to kind of like share the details. The only thing you need to talk about is the emotions, because that's all we deal with is emotions, and we look to change your emotions. That is it. At the end of the day, that is it. And it's pain-free. So I just needed to tell you about that. I have a client that I've started working with, and I've literally been working with her for 2 weeks now. And she came to me and she was in such a, you know, she kind of like, she said, right, I've hit rock bottom now, and I need to work with you, you know. And it's like, right, okay, fair enough. And yeah, and she came to me and she was in such a sort of like a desperate, out of control, you know, sort of like mindset, headspace. She was just absolutely thoughts on food all the time. She couldn't stop herself, and she was into loads of different sort of like bad behaviours and everything. Not that I like to label bad, I'll say unhealthy. Anyway, so yeah, so she had these unhealthy behaviours, and so she started to work with me. And bearing in mind, she's had an eating disorder for a very, very, very long time now, and you know, she's always woken up feeling pretty crap about the world, crap about herself, you know. And after just a week of just doing the EFT, working with me, doing the EFT, you know, tapping every day, you know, at least twice a day, she said to me, it's really strange, you know, she said, but I woke up feeling neutral. And to me, okay, neutral isn't, you know, if we kind of wake up feeling neutral for the rest of our lives, if you can kind of compare it to feeling positive, it doesn't feel that great. But for somebody that's woke up feeling totally out of control, in a horrible list of sort of, you know, really, really in a negative mindset, to go to feeling neutral in a week, to me, that's pretty bloody good, you know? Because imagine what she can achieve if she carries on with this. And that's what I find is that, you know, if you embrace this, you know, the tapping, and if you do the work, then it can seriously turn things around for you, just like it did for me. Because I have no, as I say, I have no magic wand, but this was the magic wand for me. You know, EFT was definitely the magic wand for me. And in my clients, the ones that do the work, they do the 12-week complete support package, they work with me, and my God, do they see a difference. Really do. And it's incredible. And, you know, I was working with another client the other day, and she had, you know, held on to this memory that had caused her, you know, she sort of huge negative emotions around. She felt hurt, she felt angry, she felt betrayed, you know, she felt ashamed. Loads of different emotions were going on in there. And then afterwards, I was kind of like, we went in there, we dealt with it and stuff. We came out, she was absolutely fine. And I said, well, just, you know, do you want to tell me what happened? And she was like, yeah. And she was able to tell me the story about what had happened to her. And now before, she said that she wasn't able to say about this without bursting into tears. Not only did she tell me what was going on, but she also said that she'd kind of saw it in a totally different angle, you know, compared to how she had been. So, and this is what I find time and time again with all my clients. This is what I find, and I find that amazing. Because like I said, it's not about what's happened to us in our life. It's how we think about it. It's how we feel about it. And we can change that. We can change that. I know it sounds bizarre concept, but we really can, you know. And as I said, my kind of thing, my real kind of like tipping over the edge sort of point was my divorce. And I was absolutely devastated by this, you know, absolutely devastated. I thought, you know, I just couldn't imagine, you know, sort of like my life, and felt so, you know, sort of like 2 young daughters, and, you know, I just couldn't imagine being a single parent, and all the responsibility that brought, and doing it on my own, felt completely overwhelmed. And, you know, and that was all, you know, it was like all on my shoulders, all bringing me down, weighing me down, and I couldn't get out of this. But it was only by doing the EFT, doing the work on that, you know, how I felt about the divorce and the fact that I was a single mom, and, you know, that's when I thought, well, I feel okay, you know. Actually, it didn't feel, you know, I had some sort of like genuine kind of like sadness that, you know, we sort of, you know, the marriage had ended, and, you know, the girls sort of like wouldn't get to see their dad and things like that as much, but it wasn't overwhelming. You know, it didn't bring me to my knees like, you know, that I was feeling before. And that's the thing, you know, that is where the change happens. And, you know, and now I can sort of see things far more sort of positively, and maybe, you know, kind of like see that rather than blame my ex, you know, for you know, what he'd put me through, and, you know, kind of like, how dare he do that to me, and, you know, I can now see that actually it wasn't that brilliant a marriage in the first place, you know. And it was like, and I had, because of my issues, you know, even sort of pre the eating disorder, you know, I had a lot of stuff going on, which again, you know, I've kind of learnt to deal with. So yeah, you can really turn things around with the tapping. You just, you know, and it all takes motivation. And like I said, the clients that I see that really help themselves, that really sort of start to see this difference, are the ones that tap every day. You know, morning and night at least. Those are the ones that really turn things around. So, if you would like to learn more about EFT, if you haven't heard about it at all before, but you would like to, get in touch with me. Just drop a comment in the comments here, or you know, you can email me at kim@kissgoodbyetoanna.com. My website, www.kissgoodbyetoanna.com. You can have a look there. But you know, please get in touch. This is absolutely fantastic tool that I just wish I could share it with everybody, because like I said, it's not only for people with eating disorders, but absolutely anybody through, you know, because we all have struggles, we all kind of like feel crap from now, you know, from time to time, some more than others. And so, you know, you have a choice whether you sit with those emotions, whether you sit with that fear, whether you sit with that guilt, or you know, that hurt or that anger or whatever it is. You have the choice whether you sit with it or whether you want to do something about it. And believe me, holding on to it, thinking that it's, you know, better to hold on to this because we think we want to blame somebody and that, it doesn't help us. It really doesn't help us, no matter how justified you feel in thinking, you know, but they deserve this, you know, they deserve for me to feel angry at them. You know, I know all that, but it doesn't help you. At the end of the day, it destroys you and nobody else. And you don't want that. You don't want all that crap, holding on to all that crap. You really don't. So just think about it. And if you'd like to talk to me more about, just not even just, you know, sort of like about EFT, about working with me and stuff, then just let me know. And if you want me to do, like, because I thought about doing some little tapping sessions on this page, or, you know, within my group and stuff. And so if that's something that you might be interested in, then let me know, and I can look into doing that. But okay, thanks very much for joining me. I hope I haven't taken up too much of your time. Stacey, I think you're on. I think I can see that you've joined. So hi to you. I think Sam, I think you joined as well. I'm not sure. It's not very good at telling me sometimes who's on and who's not. So yeah. But if you're still with me, Sam and Stacey, very good evening to you. Stacey, I know it's your afternoon now, so happy. Have a great afternoon. Stacey, you're in New York and it's snowing with you. So, sort of like, it's crazy that you've got snow now. Your weather seems to go up and down like nobody's business. But we've actually had really nice sunshine today, and it's been so lovely. And Sam, you'll know this, that we've had lovely sunshine today, and it's been gorgeous. And my gosh, does it make you feel better? Anyway, so yeah, so I will leave you with that. Think about, if you don't know about EFT, think about finding out. It really, really helps. Honestly, it really, really helps. And so I'll leave you with that. Give me a call, give me an email, send me a message, leave a comment if you'd like to find out more. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.